Waiting well. Most people enjoy the harvest. Few people enjoy the waiting. We celebrate results, achievements, breakthroughs, milestones, yet every meaningful harvest contains a season that cannot be rushed. A seed is planted, time passes, growth begins. But for a while, nothing appears to happen. The ground looks unchanged. The seed remains unseen. Yet beneath the surface, growth is taking place. Nature reminds us that some of the most important work happens before anything becomes visible. As I reflected on this, I began to wonder how often the same principle applies to our lives. Perhaps many of the things we desire most require a season of waiting before the harvest arrives. Consider health and well-being. Many people begin a healthier lifestyle expecting immediate results. They improve their nutrition, they start exercising, they prioritize sleep, they become more active. Yet after a few days or even a few weeks, visible results may be limited. The temptation is to assume nothing is happening, yet the body is often adapting long before changes become visible. Fitness improves, metabolic health improves, strength improves, habits begin to form. The process is working even when the evidence is not yet obvious. The challenge is learning to trust the process. The same principle applies to learning. Reading a few pages of a book may not feel significant. Learning a new skill for a few minutes each day may not feel significant. Yet knowledge accumulates, understanding deepens, confidence grows. The harvest often appears gradually rather than suddenly. What seems small today may become substantial over time. Spiritually, waiting can be particularly challenging. Many people pray for guidance, pray for growth, pray for wisdom, yet answers do not always arrive immediately. Growth does not always happen dramatically. Often faith is strengthened through consistency rather than excitement. A few moments in prayer, time spent in scripture, a moment of gratitude, an act of kindness. These may seem small, yet spiritual roots often grow deeper before spiritual fruit becomes visible. Relationships also teach this lesson. Trust rarely develops overnight. Strong friendships are not usually built through one conversation. Meaningful connections often grow through repeated acts of consistency, honesty, encouragement, and presence. The harvest comes after the season, not before it. The same principle applies to work and purpose, learning a profession, building a business, developing expertise, serving others. Many worthwhile pursuits involve seasons where effort appears greater than reward. The temptation is to become discouraged, to stop, to assume that because progress is not visible, progress is not occurring. Yet many important foundations are built during seasons when nobody notices, including ourselves. Scripture reminds us of this principle. Psalm chapter 27 verse 14 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." This verse does not describe waiting as weakness. It describes waiting as strength. It takes strength to continue when results are delayed. It takes strength to remain faithful to good habits. It takes strength to continue learning, to continue praying, to continue showing up, to continue trusting. Perhaps that is the lesson hidden within many waiting seasons. Waiting is not necessarily a sign that nothing is happening. Sometimes growth is taking place beneath the surface. Sometimes foundations are being built. Sometimes roots are growing before fruit appears. And perhaps the goal is not simply to reach the harvest. Perhaps the goal is also to become the kind of person who can steward the harvest when it arrives. Take a moment and reflect. What area of your life requires patience right now? Your health, your faith, your learning, your work, your future, whatever comes to mind. Remember this: a seed, a season, a harvest. The season matters. Growth is not always visible, and waiting is not wasted when growth is still taking place.